Welcome back. Pay attention. This one's important. Republicans appear to have a new answer to their major losses in the midterms, at least some of them, weaken the incoming Democrats. How do they do that? Well, in at least 3 swing states, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina, they are proposing bills that would strip newly elected Democrats of some of their powers. Lawmakers in Wisconsin are debating their proposals behind closed doors right now. They include putting lawmakers in charge of litigation, which would block the incoming Democratic governor and attorney general from withdrawing from a lawsuit to overturn Obamacare, curbing the governor's ability to write state rules, allowing lawmakers to replace the attorney general with private attorneys at taxpayer expense when the state laws are challenged, and requiring the governor to get permission to ban guns. Let's think about that. Joining me now is Sahil Kapoor, Bloomberg Politics national political reporter, and Jonathan Capehart, opinion writer for The Washington Post. Sahil, tell me I'm misunderstanding this. I mean, this is stunning to me. Americans went out and voted. And you could like how they voted or not like how they voted, but now, before the newly elected take their positions, suddenly those in power are changing the rules? Could that even be true?
Stephanie, I think you're describing it accurately. Now, there are a couple layers to this. The Republicans there, including Governor Scott Walker in Wisconsin, who has been defeated, argue that this is legal, that they are elected to 4-year terms, and they still have about a month or so, or a couple of months after the election. But the aspect of this that's most fascinating to me is the ACA lawsuit that you pointed out. Now, these rules, if Wisconsin Republicans succeed in changing them, would protect the state's participation in a lawsuit that would overturn the ACA if successful, and that was extensively litigated during the gubernatorial campaign. One of the top issues, Wisconsin voters said that was their #1 issue by a 2-to-1 margin, and those voters voted for Tony Evers, the Democrat, by a 47-point margin. So you can argue that this was the reason Scott Walker lost, and what Democrats are arguing is that this would prevent the new governor-elect from fulfilling his mandate by diluting that power. So there are a number of layers to this, and this is why Democrats, I think, are going so far as to argue that these actions are befitting of banana republic dictators more so than representatives of a democracy. Banana republic dictators, unethical, sleazy, rotten. You can think of any word you want. Jonathan, is it going to work?
Well, it very well might. There's one word you left out, Stephanie, and that is hypocritical. As Sahil was talking, as Sahil was talking about Governor Scott Walker, you know, in looking back, looking into this issue, a story popped up that 8 years ago, when Scott Walker was the governor-elect, he called on the outgoing governor to stop negotiating labor contracts because the people of Wisconsin had voted he was coming in as governor, and he should have the opportunity to negotiate contracts that would affect Wisconsinites when he's governor. And now suddenly, 8 years later, he's out the door. Democrats have retaken the governorship, and now he's gone a full 180.
Okay, Jonathan.
You know,
but in response, Republicans can say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. What can Democrats actually do to stop this? Because this will be a major blow to any policies that, you know, Governor-elect Tony Evers wants to get done, especially as it relates to welfare, health care. I mean, these are his main campaign promises. What can they do?
Well, the problem is the Republicans still control the legislature. And so now, I mean, good luck with this, but appealing to the small d Democratic impulses of those elected members of Congress. There is no way that this should even be allowed. There's a reason why Wisconsin voters went down to the Capitol and were protesting government officials saying, you know, you're taking away my vote, you're squelching my voice. There are all sorts of other chants. But people go to the polls for a reason. And if Republicans are not going to listen to the will of the people in their states, which they are always so sort of ready to say that the voice of the American people, the voice of the state of Wisconsin, the voice of the state of Michigan, the people of the state of Michigan have had their say. But when the people of those states say that they want Democratic leadership, suddenly Republicans go deaf. You know, when you've got Republicans in control of the legislature, words aren't going to matter. It's going to be actions, and they have shown by what they're doing that they couldn't care less about the people in their state who opted for a different direction.
All right. Well, Sahil, they're also going after early voting registration, voting rights. Bad things happen in the dark, but we are talking about this in the light. Take me local to these states. Do the constituents from these states, do the residents, do they know this is happening? Are they doing anything to stop it?
Well, if you look at Wisconsin, there are talks about, they want to curtail early voting from, I think, something like 6 weeks to a maximum of 2 weeks. And again, you can see some flavor of a partisan motivation here because who votes early? It's predominantly Democrats.
But do those voters know? Do voters across the state, are they aware that this is happening? If they're not reading the paper or watching cable news, do people in their hometowns know that this is happening right under their nose?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, Stephanie, and I think that's what's up to Democrats to, if they really want accountability for this, if they want, to punish Republicans for this, then they have to get the voters to do it. It's not clear to me that what Republicans are doing is illegal. They do seem to have the power, while they're still in office in the lame duck session, to make these changes. And at the end of the day, it's only voter accountability for this sort of norms violation that can go the distance in preventing future governors and state legislators from pursuing a similar path.
Well, then voters can get out there and say it might not be illegal, but it is unacceptable. Sahil, Jonathan, thank you so much. We have got to stay on this story.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.